Hey everybody, Amy Halser here again. You guys, I love doing these mirror word chats. It's so much fun to get to know people that are loving this word, finding our lives changing in huge, huge ways, and getting to share with one another because we really learn and grow so much from what other people have to say too. That's why I do what I do. So you guys, today I am here with Iain Dunford coming in
Hey,
live from Wales, right?
I
I'm so glad you're here.
me
So glad.
too.
Yay. So you guys, if you have not had the opportunity to meet Iain yet, uh, you may like to know that he's the one, he and another gentleman he's going to tell you about in a minute, are starting the Mere Word Bible Study in the UK. So they don't have to be up at the hours that we are. And, it's just like sometimes that's what we get to do. We take this word and we get to go and grow and evolve and get things from different perspective. So tell us a little bit about that whole thing you're doing right now with the Mirror Word in the UK. Tell me what's up.
Well, we've been using Patrick's teaching, his videos. Me and Alan wanted to start a group. We sort of were in a group, but it wasn't going very well, so we started um, the the Mirror Bible Word UK group. And it's just been phenomenal. We've had loads of interest. We don't have a great many regulars, but it's just been so interesting. It's been so needed in the
Mm.
UK because there aren't many people that seem to be awakened to what God's doing. And it's just been refreshing for us to find a group or start a group and be in a group with like-minded people. It's just been a real blessing to us, and it's been so much fun. I
Mm,
mean, me and Alan stumble around Zoom like a couple of elephants sometimes, but it's
I get
just
that.
such it's just such fun, and we're just having great conversations around the mirror, which for us is just wonderful.
That is so cool. So how did you know this was something that you needed to do, that it was time to start your own?
I think what I think from it came out of desperation. I think that really we didn't see anything that we could join. Me particular, there wasn't anything that I could join. I didn't know anybody. I only knew Pat and Patrick, and that loosely.
Okay.
And of course, their study is like I think 2 a.m. I tried to do one of those, but it nearly killed me for 3 days to
Yeah.
recover. So I just thought it would be really cool to perhaps do something of our own. So I talked with them, and then me and Alan chatted, and it sort of evolved from there, really.
Oh, wonderful. So, yeah, 2 a.m. to start the group, then it goes for a few hours. And I don't know about you, but I often have a hard time going to sleep as it is after being on and feeling, you know, it's like the love that is
Mm.
so evident in that group,
Mm.
whether it's from Pamela and Patrick speaking, it's or if it's coming from when we are a vessel that is open to receive this love. And for some, it takes a while to really come to terms with. I was one of those people. But as it just like it's becomes this torrent of love that fills the heart, and the heart just loves it and soaks it in. And then it's pouring out of each person, it's pouring out of you, it's coming back in. It's kind of hard to go to sleep right
Yeah,
away. You're
indeed.
like,
Yeah,
"Ooh," you're buzzing from it.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
I can imagine you were up most of the night.
Yeah, I mean, I only actually got to one. I had to watch and catch up, but I just loved the breakout rooms and different people that shared. Oh, it was just like eating honey. It's so life-giving. It was amazing. Yeah,
Honey
So
dripping in your mouth.
yeah, it was really good. And then I got to hear about Rachel and her books really just
Mhm.
really blessed me.
Yes.
Life changing, reading the word, looking at her books, and yeah, it was transformative for me.
Yeah. So it's like it's hard to not want to share this when you experience it.
Yeah,
You want
yeah,
others to get it. You're like, I want, especially like you've mentioned we chatted for a little bit before, and in the UK, there's a need. There is such a need
mm,
for the truth.
yeah,
And then you're finding it.
yeah. It's I feel it's quite desperate. So yeah,
Yeah.
so it's been good to be able to do something. It's not a major thing, but I really feel that it's just a place for people to come and soak in the truth like I did.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's changed my life massively. I had quite chronic, mental, quite bad mental health, and I got healed from that just by listening and
Mm.
reading the mirror word, which
Wow.
transformed. And I don't have any symptoms. I was on medication, but I have no symptoms that I used to have. And that was, well, over a year now.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. So tell us a little bit about how that transpired for you, stepping into the mirror.
I can't remember how. I think I was looking at Francois' Mirror Bible, and I think there was a link from his website to the mirror. I think there was anyway, or he mentioned it somewhere, and so I started to listen, obviously to the catch ups, and I really wanted to go on a live one, but it wasn't really that easy. So it was just over a period of time, and it's just certain truths that just sunk into my heart, and I came to the revelation that no, it's all been finished. There's nothing for me to do apart from belief, and even that ability was given to me, and it's just totally made such a huge difference.
Through reading and hearing,
Yeah,
changed your
yeah,
mental health.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
Well, it's changed the way I think and what I think about. So, and that's, I can't, sometimes I think, wow, I'll something can happen and I think, well, I used to think like that. And I realize I don't think like that either. So every time I keep discovering different ways that there's been a change. And I didn't try and do anything. It wasn't like I wasn't concentrating on to renew my mind. It just seemed to happen effortlessly, really, which it was
Resting.
like it was a bit like having you get caught in the rain. Yeah. So yeah, it's been fabulous. I've just so enjoyed reading. Reading that is just like opening. Every time I look in it, it's like opening up a treasure chest, seeing new treasure, new feasts to enjoy.
It's
You
like
know,
the healing balm of Gilead. The
yeah.
words come
Mm,
alive.
mm,
Ian, as you were just saying, literally before you said it, in my spirit, because we're connected, we're one, we're in union, we're in this giant tapestry of love here, of brother and sister, like, we're connected in this. I knew that you were going to say that it was an effortless transition. Like, I'm like,
mm,
it's not about like that you didn't go, oh, I have to have this to cure or to heal something.
mm.
As you're reading, you're in the rest, the loving arms of Abba, and he's just doing it to you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the amazing thing is that I think I had three counselors, medication. I read a lot myself. um, it didn't really have an effect. All it did was help me cope. So just dampen down the symptoms. It didn't really help. But it was like being let out of a cage for me. A mental cage. I couldn't get out. I mean, I tried, but I couldn't get out.
Mm. I mean, I can relate in my own ways. Did you read the section? I don't know if it's at the beginning where Francois shares the story of the eagle in the cage at the
Yeah,
at the zoo in Victoria,
yeah,
South Africa. Yeah, and that cage, right? But yet
yeah,
the cage is open, and then that opportunity, the call of the other, like it wouldn't leave, but then the call. And so I'm just hearing that almost in your
yeah.
story, right? Of this, the heart needs to know the cage is open, but I can't go. The medication, the counseling, the mindset of this is my reality
Mm,
versus something that calls you up to that higher place of this is who you actually are. This
mm,
is who you are. Come with me. Your wings are yours there for a reason because you can fly. So I'm just like imagining that for you. Like you're just seeing that. And I say that for myself. I mean, I had 18 years of antidepressants, um, counseling, lots of things in my younger adult years, um,
yeah,
listening to the wrong voice, listening
mm,
to this is who you are. Look at your history or look at
yeah,
this there. And if you feel, therefore it must be, we
mm,
trust, well, I feel depressed. I feel anxious. I feel shameful. I feel less than, therefore that's who I am.
mm,
And then this, I mean,
yeah.
the same in a different way. All our stories are unique to our own walk, but it different than any other Bible stuff that I've done, any years of church and all of these things that was effort, effort, effort. And
Same.
this is stepping into effortless ease,
Yeah.
just being loved because this is who he says we are, not because of how we feel, but this is who I
Mm,
say you are. And then we
yeah.
shift to believe that voice. It,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway.
I know it's just like having I suppose it's being lost in a way, and then all of a sudden you read a map and you need to get somewhere, but you don't know where you already are.
Mm,
And I don't know if it's the same in America, but we have like in big shopping malls, there's a map
yeah.
and it just says you are here.
You are here, right?
And for me, I just feel like that's what the Mirror Bible
Mm.
does. This says you are here and locates you, and you know where you are. It's a safe place. It's a place of joy. It's a place of love. It's a place of empowerment, but a place of rest. For me, it's just so marvelous because it takes all the other nonsense out where you're trying to get to somewhere, but you don't know where you are, so you don't know where you're starting from, you're lost. And then the Mirror Bible for me just comes along and says, you are here.
You are placed in Christ
Yeah,
in the perfect place,
permanently.
permanently, effortlessly.
Yeah, not in and out or up and down. It's just a smooth sail now, which for me is wonderful.
Oh, that's so interesting. I literally was journaling yesterday and I'll get in this place of flow with Abba and just let I'll close my eyes. I just start typing. Usually
Mm,
anything I might post on the mirror comes from some of those kinds of moments.
mm,
But then I'll sense when I'm to switch to italics and his response back to me on some things. And
mm.
it was something about chaos and everything from here is smooth sailing. Just
Yeah,
just like you said. And I was just like, thank you. Smooth sailing now.
yeah. It's great, isn't it?
It is. And, for me, especially in the midst of lots of different things in life, sometimes we pop in and
Mm,
out, but the coming back in is almost as quick as going out. It's
yeah.
it's like something will go, but it's and
Mm,
sometimes we need to go, okay, that's not the truth. Like it comes up and then you get to look at it and go, no,
mm.
and to step back in instantaneously.
Yeah, that's marvelous. I just love waking up every day knowing that I'm in the same place. That I mean, before, my day would, I'd wonder how my day was going to go, how I would be, how I would feel. Do I feel up or do I feel down? But now, just wake up, loved all day,
All day. Oh my gosh, Ian,
every
that
day.
that is something so many people need to hear. Just stepping into that. You know what? Tell us a little bit about your story. I know through Facebook, like you and Rachel got to meet each other, right? When
Yeah,
Pamela,
yeah,
Patrick, uh,
yeah.
and her were there a few months back or late 24.
Mm,
And I mean, that's when I saw your face. I was just like, it radiated love, it radiated peace. And you've shared a few different little blips about your story prior to this season of life. And
yeah,
tell us a little bit about that, what life was like and where you were at, and then how
yeah,
that's.
sure. Well, with my mental side, I mean, I used to imagine so much. I used to imagine that I was being followed, which was awful. I couldn't go to the shops very easily. My lovely wife used to have to do virtually everything for me. I couldn't make decisions. Couldn't talk on the phone. I definitely wouldn't be able to do this. And I couldn't watch the news, couldn't watch television, I couldn't watch anything to do with health, like a health program. Couldn't watch any of that. And if it was on in the house, I would just be pacing up and down in the house. It
I
was
interrupt you for 1 second? And so how long was that state for you? Was that just a
as bad as that, about 4.5 years. So I was totally trapped and could see no way out, and I thought I was going to be like it forever, which was terrifying.
Mhm.
And sleeping was a real big issue. So yeah,
And
and
so
I would worry about anything. If we were having anything delivered, my mind would just make up so many scenarios how it could go wrong. It was like, catastrophizing, I suppose. It was really,
yeah,
it was horrible. There was nothing nice about that at all.
no. And it sounds like, so you were in a place where your mind had literally been hijacked.
Yeah.
And so I'm so grateful. I hope it's this way in the UK, at least in the US. We've moved into a place of, you know, um, looking at mental health, much like we look at physical health. Like it's like the mind, it's something's off. It's sick. It's dealing with some things, just like we might be if we've got a cancer in the body or an organ that's malfunctioning or whatever. And there's a lot around mental health and help. And I literally work at a counselor's office and I do a lot of
Okay.
different things. Like I do breath work and somatic body movement or yoga and um, EFT tapping. I do energy healing, frequency healing, different things. I'm not a licensed therapist, but I work in a capacity where I have additional tools that the counselors in the office then can send clients to me to say, here's something extra that we can
Mm,
help. We can do some meditation, we can do some breath work, things like that. But there's that part of me in a non-faith-based environment there that knows these are tools and they're great, but I know the ultimate source of healing that's worked
mm,
most in my life, and I
mm,
have certain clients that are open to that. Um, but I have to be real careful on that. And so
Yeah.
you mentioned doing counseling, you mentioned medication, some of those things, but yet, so in your faith journey, like it's not like you couldn't strive to, in your current state or at your previously current state, um, you couldn't strive to have the mind of Christ because your mind wasn't present enough to
No.
do that. So
No.
what do you think? What do you say to people that are going, okay, I may be struggling with my mental health to a varying degree, but how do I step into that without the striving, without the efforting? Because people are going to want your experience, but our experiences are uniquely ours. What do you say to that, like to the person that is struggling and trying to, you know,
Yeah, I mean, we are all on our own journey, and to a degree, it's gonna depend on how that journey goes. But I would strongly, recommend just by listening to
mm,
the truth wherever you find it. It's, a lot of people say, what is the truth? And there's like various evangelical views of the truth. But for me, I know that the truth that set me free was through the mirror word Bible, through what Patrick shared. And I was looking to be free, but I wasn't trying to get free. If you
mm,
know, it was, for me, I felt like it happened by accident. I didn't feel like I'm going to do this and I'll be okay, and I just listened, and the truths were so impactful, so startling. It was like being struck by lightning because it didn't all happen at once, but every time I just read, there would be a phrase that caused me to think in a different way. I couldn't, you just, I found that you can't help but think differently when you read the Mirror Bible. It is, for me, I would say it was almost impossible with an open heart. It would be impossible to read that and not be transformed. I'm that confident in it because I know that I had an open heart, but
there you go.
it wasn't to get something. It was just, I was open, and you to me, you could read two words of the Mirror Bible and change. It will change your life. I've discovered that constantly. Every time I open, there's just more treasure, more honey to just feast on.
Honey.
It's, I keep on about it, but to me, it's changed my life because I'm free. And I wasn't free. I was really stuck, and I'm not stuck now.
You're
I'm
not.
free.
You're clearly not.
No, no.
It's so beautiful, Ian. It's so precious. And I think, you said a couple of things that I think are really important for those that are struggling. And sometimes I know I've had times where I'm striving. I'm like, I have got to figure out what is going to be okay. Because if I don't, I'm not going to be okay. And there's
Mm,
that sense of desperation of like, I've been doing it on my own all this time, or so we think. Um,
mm,
and I have to figure it out. Bring that law back in, like Patrick and Pamela are always talking about with Francois's writings, that are make it clear we're no longer under the law, striving, efforting,
mm,
working it out in our own strength. And whether you apply that to spiritual, religious situations, work, family, getting your crap together kind of thing.
mm,
But you said an open heart, but not like an intentional open heart. But I think there's a few things that I heard you say. Like to me, I think of this. I think of a fist. I got my hair tied in my wrist. Like if I walk around with my fist closed, I'm not open to receive anything from people. Like and so I'm stating this like as a state of being, right? I can walk around
Mm,
like this, or I can walk around more like my hand relaxed, walk with my hand open, relaxed to receive.
mm, mm,
Not that I'm doing it intentionally, but I'm not looking for everything that's coming against me. I'm not going, well, that's not true, or that's not true, or that's not true. I don't receive very well when I have that state of heart. But if I'm
mm,
going, I don't know
mm,
what I need, I don't know the answer, but I'm open.
mm.
Kind of sounds like maybe your heart was there a little in that.
Yeah, yeah,
Would you agree?
yeah.
I don't want to put
I
words in it.
no, no, no. I think that's true, and of course, then it's discovering that he loves us.
Yes.
Passionately. It's not. There's no conditions to it. He absolutely loves us, and it, and it's so pure. It's such a pure love. It's just so easy. I must admit, I never used to like myself much. I wouldn't look in mirrors because I just looked and I thought, oh, that's horrible. Now I don't feel like that now. I just know that I am so. No other opinion matters to me now. Only that I know forever I'm loved. Whether a person doesn't love me, I know that the person, the most important person, loves me forever. Completely, full on love. Not just a little bit, full on.
Full
Honest.
on love.
It's intense.
That
And we wake up to that every morning. We never, no one, doesn't matter who it is, no one wakes up any other way than being loved. That is their condition, is loved. Every person. That's great news, isn't it? It's the good news that we are loved. A person is loved. They might feel like they're not. Somebody might have said they're not. That's not true.
it's not true. And it's to me, it's the energy source that we are looking for.
Mm.
It's what will fuel and change literally
Yeah,
in the entire
yeah.
cosmos. I
Mm,
one other thing that you said, all of that is so beautiful. I when you started reading, not feeling, not experiencing your greatest mental health state, but you start reading anyway and just open-hearted receiving, not trying to absorb it. You just said you just read it and listened. So you're
mm,
listening, whether you're listening to a recording or you're listening to the words that you're reading, in essence,
mm,
because we're creating a story with what we're reading. We see it, maybe get to see it, feel it, involve our senses, but not trying to make it happen, not trying to absorb it and figure it out intellectually. You just read, and he did the work. And so what I'm just sensing here is it's like it's co-creating. So, Francois talks about that quite a bit. You'll hear
mm.
a lot of
Yeah,
that. We're co-creators, but but it does start with us making a choice. We made a choice to step in. You opened it up, or you clicked play on a recording or on a video,
yeah,
and then he does the rest. He's doing everything else.
yes, yeah. I think what I love about the truth, it's not gentle to lies. It's ruthless to a lie because the truth smashes lies. It doesn't tolerate a lie. Truth just cuts right through
Yes.
it. And I just, I just love that any lie out there cannot stand and, resist the force of truth, because truth is like just carried in love. I mean, we have got this so made. It's so stacked in our favor.
Do you realize the power of your words coming from someone who has overcome because of his love that was just poured out on you? Like your
Mm.
words are packed with power because you've been there, you get it. Like I feel it. It's really beautiful.
Well, he's just amazing, isn't he? I mean, he leads us out, gives us the truth. He's the amazing one.
And it's for every single one of us. That's the thing.
Yeah,
And
that's the
it
thing.
is
That's the thing. That's the thing. I
right.
mean, now that I see that actually truth is a remedy or an answer, his love as well is an answer, or Jesus is the answer to poor mental health. I'm convinced of that. How that works with others, me helping others, I don't know, because I'm not a doctor or anything, but I'm just so sure that anybody with any condition, once the truth comes in, that's it. The game's over for any lie about where anybody's imprisoned in their mental health.
Or otherwise, right? Like you may not be a, licensed practicing doctor,
Hmm. Not
but
like Patrick.
you're a love doctor, right?
Yep.
You're yeah, like you carry it, you've been there.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's yeah, and you're a beloved son, so you've been given that. You've got that
Hmm.
authority. We've got it. We've all got it as that
Hmm.
class of sons of the most.
Yeah. I know. It's amazing, isn't it, that we're actually the son.
It's
It's not like positionally, like we're actually born of God.
yes.
We've got His Spirit on the inside of us, animating us, bringing us life, living through us in everything we do, whether we're working, cutting the grass, painting, doing paperwork, washing up. He's there inside it all. It's marvelous, isn't it? Never alone. Just
No.
like never going to be alone. Even if there's not another person, we've got the best company.
That reminds me of Brother Lawrence. Um,
Oh, yeah.
in the story of him where he's as a monk, back in, I don't know if I'm saying 1400s is correct or not. Maybe, maybe it was later than that. But he, found the glory in the washing of the dishes, the absolute
Mm,
bliss in washing dishes at the
mm,
monastery or at the convent or yeah, monastery. Um, and would just get so totally drunk in the spirit just from the glory of washing dishes,
mm,
where he would bliss out completely. And I would think, well, that's just, special for him. When I first read that, that those papers, and I'm like, no, that's actually for all of us. It's like, how much do we stop though to just be so in the present moment with the
mm,
reality of doing the tasks, whether it's a mundane task or it's your most important job task that you have each day,
mm.
that it's
Yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, when I'm at work this year, we had some really vibrant begonias, and I was looking at them one day, and I was just thinking, oh, you made that. not me, but God made that. And I just thought of the glory of that flower put there for us to enjoy. And I just think it's just so amazing. In the summer, like, we have to water for like 7 hours a day. It's quite it's quite tedious, but I've just loved this year particularly just being in his presence. And sometimes I think, oh, I just want to lay on the grass and
Yes.
just be in another world. But it's just so lovely to know that we have his company. We can, just so enjoy that communion, chatting with him. It's so real. It's not just a figment of our imagination, and hearing him speak back or show us something, or just being quiet with him, not saying anything.
Sounds like he gave you the perfect job. You get to get paid for hanging out and being in meditative state with him while you work the grounds of your retreat center.
I know where I always tell everybody at work, I said, I have the best job. You might be the manager or in with admin and banking or whatever you're doing at work where I work. I said, I know that I get to spend all day with Jesus with no interruptions.
Yeah, that's pretty
No one
cool.
asking me about a piece of paper or phone call or anything. I have all day. So yeah, I really enjoy it. It's
Yeah,
bliss. It's bliss for me to
that's for
just be
sure.
there.
You
Yeah.
know, when you were talking about the begonias, um, and it's like it is the beauty that does draw us back to the awareness of his presence and the gift and that and seeing him in that. But like just holding my coffee cup, like somebody roasted the beans
Yeah.
with care, and I
Mm,
trust that they did that well. That's their
mm,
job, and then I get to consume that, and it's God's love through them in their task. Or
yeah.
or even somebody created this Zoom app. Somebody
Yeah.
has the skill set that God has given them, not just probably one person, but even then that. So then we get the interconnectedness of the people that form access the knowledge from the cosmos to create this so we can do these things. And
Mm,
we are benefactors of that. You
yeah.
know,
That's amazing, isn't
it is when we stop and like look at every little
it?
thing that he
Mm,
is in, everything.
mm,
You get to see it and experience it different. That just heals my brain too.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, to think that God is in everything and in everyone,
Mhm.
it's, just blows your mind, doesn't it? Well, it does mine. I think, wow.
That's right. And so, like, so for people that choose to watch these, it's like we didn't talk about any of this, right? We hop on, we get to connect for 5 minutes or so, and we
Mm,
chat. We had no idea the direction the spirit's going to take the conversation, but I quite like it when it happens that way. It's just fun
yeah.
to
Yeah.
to go, oh yeah, I get that. And that blesses me, the stories that people share and that
Mm,
hear as we journey along and we're learning things, we're growing, we're unlearning things, we're just navigating this experience. You know,
mm,
I guess to kind of wrap up, I wonder, tell me a little bit about your thoughts on, so for example, 4.5 years, you said you went through some really painful, a little bit of hell on
yeah.
earth with mental health.
Yeah.
So that, in my mind, I'm like, it's the Romans 8:28, like all things come together to work for good who put their trust in the
Yeah.
Lord, versus there's a whole lot of people in the world that they don't even want anything to do with God, say because a loved one experiences that or they experience it. How do you see that experience in light of where you are today?
I think that for me, I was quite religious and I think that whereas I would try to be a good Christian, try to do the right thing, and it was a lot of trying
Mhm.
and feeling like you failed and things just became hard. I was under pressure to do things, not bad things. Most people probably think they were good things, but I felt like I had to be somebody or something,
Yeah.
and I didn't actually realize the harm that that was doing,
Mm.
and and I just got lost in 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 all the trying, and I couldn't get out. So I I personally uh, feel that for me it's just given me completely new eyes that how I see things, and I think that has been the and I think God. I'm not saying I don't believe that God will do this to Ian, so he has new eyes. God is absolutely good, but he just in that gave me a fresh set of eyes to see truth, to
Yeah.
see who I was, to see who you are, to see who everybody else is in this world. And I just love that. I think we probably all have opinions, but I just love that God has given me his opinion about everything, about me. And, I feel like God sort of set me free from me. You know,
That's a
the
good one. That's so good.
the person that I was trying to be, that false of identity that wasn't really real, but I, thought I had to be that. God just set me free from all that and say, no, this is who you are.
Yeah. And you got it big time.
Yeah,
You said something, yeah, set me two things I heard. Set me free from me. That's really good. I think that's probably it's that separating of the true self, false self, or you could call it
yeah,
the ego.
yeah,
You can call it a lot of things, but it's that
yeah,
true identity of this is who you always were before the beginning of time. And then we
mm,
forget. The world takes that and we start to believe other things, and it's coming back to our original identity, our oneness,
mm,
coming
yeah,
into the I amness
yeah,
of who we always have been.
mm,
Something else that you said though about, of course, like it's like I don't feel like God did this to me, you know, true. And then is it that however or and it makes me think of like you go to the gym to build something that isn't there, or it's there. Actually, the muscle is always there. We go into the gym and use weights and come up against pain,
yep,
difficulty, strain,
yeah,
stress
mm,
to build, so then we can use that arm differently, do different things. Um, but if we don't come against the hard thing,
mm.
we never get the strength that we
No,
already
that's
need it.
true. Yeah,
And so it's like that's the way I see some of the things. I've gone through cancer, I've gone through a lot of difficult things. But it's like sometimes I need to go, oh, that is what I believe, or this is what I heard in your whole beautiful story. Like he just came in to show you this is who you are. This is who I've always said you are.
mm,
This is the love that I have for you and I have for all of humanity that I need you to also see about others. But
mm,
until that rubber hits the road, and for whatever reason, that was mental health situation for you. It's not about
Mm.
the thing. It's
No,
about what's the end result, right? This is
yeah,
the love that's in your heart is so deep and so pure and so known. You know that you know that you know that you're loved.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
so good, Ian. I loved this. This conversation was super fun. They all are amazing because my heart ignites when I get to have these deep, intimate conversations with people. It just lights my fire. I love it so much. Thank you.
Well, it does mine too, because I've been listening to your chats that you have with different people. I love them.
Oh, I'm so
So I'm
glad.
a fan.
Yay! Well, share this with the UK group too. And y'all, if you have questions or comments for Ian, you can find him on Facebook or through Messenger or anything else. Share this message, y'all, especially if you've got some folks that you're in your heart and your spirit, might need it. I'm sure that you'll be open to sharing that. We hope so. We love that you join us and hopping on these calls or these recordings rather, when they happen. Thanks for joining us.